thank you for having me. I am thrilled out of my mind. And I was telling the producer that I have loved my Southern living, and I've got the newest issue on my kitchen table. Okay. I'm at home, not much longer, but I'm at home in Knoxville, Tennessee. It has been a lot of work, but I felt like I had it in me years ago. I thought, I know I've got a book in me. And I'll just tell you, I wanted to tell every horrible thing I ever did in the 80s. And my literary agent, who is a doll, said, You're not Joan Crawford yet, Leanne. Let's do this first, a funny essay to get people to know who Leanne Morgan is, and then maybe a cookbook. And then let's talk about all the horrible things you did in the 80s. But in this book, it's me smoking behind a dumpster, said, at the University of Tennessee, making horrible decisions. I did, being from a farming community of 500 people and wanting to be in show business. I feel like I just say, what in the world? All the time I found myself saying, what in the world? Because all this has blown up for me in my 50s after doing comedy for over 25 years. And I just found myself going, what in the world? And getting a movie with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell, and getting a television series on Netflix, and getting more Netflix specials, and all these things happening to me at my age. And when I just did not I thought I was going to make it. But then there was, times when I start thinking, oh no, nothing's going to come up this, and it's not going well and all that. And it's just every day, I'm just amazed at it. I'm amazed at it. And then I thought the curveballs and the blessings, I talk a lot in the book about, just ups and downs in my career, but also ups and downs that my family has been through, that everybody, people, it's always things happen when, in life, there's valleys and mountaintops. And so I talked about that, but the blessings that come out of those things, that silver lining that you don't see at the time, but then you look back and think, oh my gosh, that was how it was meant to be. I did. I really thought it, but I tell you, Sid, I got a little freaked out in like my early 50s. I was at the end of perimenopause, and I went out to eat with Chuck Morgan, my husband, and I started crying. And I said, I don't think this is going anywhere. I don't think I can keep going. And I said, I think, Chuck, I want to open up a hardware store. And I want to have a big cheese wheel. And I want to have rocking chairs where people can gather. And I'll just dazzle people in those rocking chairs. And he went, you've lost your mind, Leanne. So then, that was his way of helping. So after that, I thought, okay, I'm going to give it one more shot. And I swear, when things blew up, I was just about to give up and go to work somewhere. I thought maybe pop popcorn at a NASCAR track. I thought that'd sound fun, or Target in the bedding. I really did. I thought I've got to do something because I've always had a side hustle. Said I came from people that had farming people, but had a business, a meat processing plant. We did everybody's deer and hogs and beef. And so I just have always liked to make my own money and have something going. Okay, it's 500 people on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And so we feel very close to Kentucky. I know we're in proximity to Kentucky, but I was born in Kentucky. And then my people came over. Had always been in Adams and had farms. But my little daddy worked as a butcher at Kroger over in Bowling Green. But anyway, Adams was a Church of Christ, a Baptist, and a Methodist church. Everybody went to church. It was a lot of older people that had, for generations, families have lived there that have farmed on both sides, like my people. Yeah, little churches, little bitty churches with 50 people, maybe 100. But everybody, I'm not kidding, like took care of their crops and went to church. That's what we did, and went to ball games. To our little bitty high school. That was Future Farmers of America, Home Economics. They really, we had some college, pre-college courses, not many, because they knew we were all going to get out and farm. A lot of people did. But now it's, farming's like big farmers that have taken over, like they lease little farms from people. And so you could tell like a lot of old people died off and now it's younger people. Because the housing, everybody needs housing. These houses have kind of gotten run down, and it's people that have moved in to find affordable housing who we've never seen them before in our lives. There's a new Dollar General store, and I'm telling you, it's hopping. And every time I go home and I go to the Dollar General, it's a good one. every time I go, I think, who are these people? And my little mom and daddy will say, we have no idea who they are. So there's certain families that have been there, for generations, and my family, one of them, but it's a lot of new people, but not as much farming going on. Still farming, but big farmers lease everybody else's land. Oh yeah, I've got my little mom and daddy. We've got a farm. We still have our farm. We lease it out to the Baggetts, who I went to high school with, probably made out with a couple of them. They all grow dark fire tobacco, alfalfa, soybeans, corn. But yeah, there's, what did you ask me? See it? I got to thinking, should I have said I made out with somebody on Southern Living? Biscuits and change. Okay, good. There are. And my little daddy, his dream is for us to hold on to this land and someday somebody to develop into a neighborhood. It's 100 acres, but people, it's close to the interstate. So yes, people are coming. Nashville's moving that way. Okay, my darling. It was right next to Corky's, which was the gas station, and that was Corky. And he had a son that became an OBGYN. So they were kind of like our Elvis, because he got out and became a doctor. But anyway, Corky's gas station, and everybody got their gas and they could charge it. And my sister would drive back and forth from Austin Peay State University and charge her gas and then drive back. Okay, and then next to that was our little store. And my Uncle Raymond and Aunt Lila owned it before my daddy went. We had it. And you walk in, and it was tiny, and there was a little office, but there was one conveyor belt, thing, and a cash register. And there was one little tiny aisle of paper products that I loved. And I would get in there and just write and scribble in that paper. And then there was a candy aisle, and then canned goods and daddy's and bread on the right. And then daddy had the meat, cutting meat, and the, your hamburger meat and all that in the back. And then behind that they would store the Tab, Coca-Colas, all of that, toilet paper. We would get these big boxes in that held toilet paper, and I would play in them, like it was a playhouse, had a ball. And they would, they'd go back there and eat lunch or whatever. And my granddaddy, all my family, extended family worked in it. And then mama's friends, Margaret, and some other women, and they all smoked and had a ball and laughed. And I sprayed Lysol. That was what I did for fun. I sprayed Lysol in the back, and they would smell it and go, quit spraying this Lysol. And my sister is older than me, and she was rail thin. Of course, we were country people who grew our own vegetables and killed her own hogs. So she was thin as a rail, and she would eat sweet tarts and red hots and steak and faint, and was frail. And on Mondays, and I wasn't chunky because I didn't eat processed food either, but I was stockier than her. I had a stronger constitution, let's say that. Yep. And I would eat pinto beans and cabbage, and my parents would brag on me and say, Beth is frail. She's about to faint. Look at Leanne. She eats pinto beans and cabbage. And that's how they bragged on me. But anyway, we would work every Monday to put up cans in the store. That was the day where you replenish. And we just took it like, we were little bitty, but we just thought, well, Lord, we've got to keep this store running. And I think I was in kindergarten, and Mama didn't make me go to kindergarten. And I hate to even say that on this, but that was in Tennessee before the law, before you had to go to kindergarten. But she wanted me to go, but I was 4. I hadn't turned 5 yet. And she goes, you're smarter than all these people. You really don't have to go if you don't want to. You still need a nap. So I would go to the store, or we would stay at home and watch Hollywood Squares.